Thanks for joining, everyone. We're back again for another one. This is American Coin and Currency Podcast live stream. Today's episode is called Born from a Vote, the Law That Made American Eagles. Here today, Dustin Lee, social lead at American Coin and Currency. John Mady, CEO, founder. How's it going?
Good, buddy. How's it going today?
It's good. The markets are looking a lot better. Getting some sales, making moves. There's a coin show happening locally, so hopefully that'll happen. And I'm excited to be here. How's it going with you?
Yeah, things are good. Business is robust, and I love our topic today because the Eagles are a cornerstone of the industry. So there's just, we could have literally a 10-hour show and still not get really granular into American Eagles. That's how much their information is in there, So we're going to do our best for our viewers to inform today and educate on American Eagles, and hopefully you enjoy our show.
Fantastic. Yeah, be sure to subscribe. Follow us on all our socials. Plug away here our information. Give us a call, 561-310-8341, uniquecoins@gmail.com. Website Linktree, American Coin, ACC, American ACC on eBay. Find us on Google, Yelp, Apple, everywhere, and just look us up, American Coin and Currency, all over on Google. We're everywhere on all platforms at this point, and I'm going to be putting us on Spotify very soon. So we'll be on Spotify and Apple Music, or Apple. I think it's Apple Music or podcasts. I'm not sure how they do this. Yeah, so we're going to be on Just Voice. So we're going to do that fairly soon, probably this coming up week. But yeah, let's anything going on your side?
Let's get into it, as they say.
All right, yeah, let's touch on the prices. Wait, where'd you go? There we go. Here we go. Over here. Let's move us around here. Yeah, as I touch on some of the prices, price action is really good. I kind of made like a line around $80, which is kind of drew that out quite a bit long ago, seeing that the price action here. But on the monthly chart for silver, we're touching just about $80, which is a good indication for a market to move back. The sentiment's a lot better. You'll see in the last several weeks, there was a couple downtrends, but overall in the last month prior, end of March, April, we're looking pretty solid. So we're consolidating around $80. So that's a good sign. But yeah, if we see a breakout over 82, it's going to be a good indication that we're going to be moving up higher to probably.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, you're good.
Which colored line there is the 200-day moving average?
200-day moving average is at $34. It's the blue one. I have a blue. Okay. I have a 200, a 90, and a 30, a 13, and 34. So about a bi-weekly and monthly moving averages.
Okay.
Yeah, so roughly we're averaging out around $68-$70 for the monthly, and then about $78 for the bi-weekly. But yeah, I mean, even that $33 out of the 200-day moving average is like, that's huge. I mean, that's a generational price change, breaking out of that $20 range was just like for a long time.
Forever. It was just between 13 and 20, and it would just oscillate in between there. And you go back far enough, you had a couple spikes there.
Yeah, the spikes were around 30. We had around the COVID times, and then came back to like a 20. But yeah, the $30.
Look at that jump up. Boy, does that spike when you go out a little bit.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah, I mean, prior to that was the $4, and prior to that, $13. That's why I picked up a lot, around $15-$18.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like, why not? But yeah, then we're looking at gold. I think gold's around similar kind of concept. It's it's around the same kind of momentum here. We had like a good end of March, at the beginning of April, and then a little bit of pullback, but nothing below over 4,600. We definitely held. So yeah, we're looking at 4,900. If we make a breakout there, we're going to be seeing the 5,000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're holding.
Yeah, and that's healthy, right? I mean, you can't have like when metals were just flying up at the beginning of the year. That I don't like when things just go parabolic like that, because typically there is a huge drop off afterwards, and there was, I think 40% gold dropped in a week, in just a few days. And that
Yeah.
was the largest price drop in 4 decades, I believe.
Yikes.
But we've seen consolidation here. It's not like it's bled back down to previous levels that we saw last year. I
Wow.
like the consolidation because we're building a new floor, and that enables us to ratchet back up. And I think we're seeing that a little bit here, which is fantastic. And the Eagle program, which was started, minting in '86, that changed the game, because prior to that, the only bullion, in particular, let's say like gold bullion, that was readily available was Krugerrands. Krugerrands were the first gold bullion coins that were worldwide, and I think they started that in 1967, I want to say. So they were a little bit ahead of us, but I mean, when it comes to premiums and getting that money back out, perfect example. I had a customer who made a large purchase this week, and she was, asking my advice on whether to take gold eagles or she's like, I just want gold, and I was explaining to her, that's fine. We could do 999 or quadruple nine maple leaves, or we could do bars, 1 ounce bars. The premium on the gold eagles was about 2.5% above spot, so that worked out to like $136, I believe it was, somewhere right around there. Premium over spot, whereas the premium on the other pieces is significantly less. But I explained to her that you'll get that back when you sell, because there are people that want those eagles. They're willing to pay the premium, and eagles are not, they're not triple nine or quadruple nine pure. They're actually 91 point, I think, like 7%. They do contain an ounce of gold, but they also add in a small amount of copper and silver for durability. And same thing with Krugerrands. The other metals are added, so it's over an ounce, but there is an ounce of gold in there, and that's why you get a little variation in the color between, let's say, like a quadruple nine maple leaf and a American gold eagle or a Krugerrand, because there's those other metals that are added for durability. So they're like 22 karat basically, where the other Canadian maple leaves are 24 karat pure. But something really interesting happened that I wanted to speak about. So the same customer of mine, and I've never had this happen before, so this was a first. When she initially went to her bank, they literally told her they would not wire the funds.
Oh man!
And they were trying to talk her out of it, and 3 different people from the bank were basically, not, I don't want to say coercing, but pressuring her, like, telling her gold is not it's not a good time to buy right now, and it's too high, and like, I understand from their angle what they don't want to see $800,000 leave their bank, because they're making interest on that, which is significant. And so, but I was flummoxed by it. I was like, my God, I can't believe that it's getting to this point now where the banks are trying to coerce people to not take money out to buy. I mean, it's her money. It's not like she was at a Bitcoin place trying to send Bitcoins for some scam. This was, she's buying a physical asset. So at
Yeah,
the end of the day, the deal did go through,
that's good.
and that was on Monday, I believe. And so we got her in, and since then, gold's gone up $200 an ounce. So she picked up it was 165 ounces, times $200. That's a
Mm.
significant amount of money that she would have lost out on had she had that not gone through. But my point being is that I was really surprised that, and it's one of the large banks that we all know. They're on every corner across the
Mm.
country. But yeah, they were pressuring her not to send take the money out of her bank, which amazing, absolutely amazing. But she got Eagles and she also got Maple Leafs and some bars, so
Mm.
that was really nice. But as far as Eagles, they are the cornerstone of the industry, of course, from the bullion side and also from rare high grade modern side.
Mm.
So we can go through from 1986 onwards. There's certain years that are very valuable in the mint state
Mm.
condition, as opposed to proofs, including PCGS slab as opposed to NGC slab, and the
Right.
price differences, which are vast. 1986, or let's say a real key date like a 1994, a 1999, 1996, or 2000 American Silver Eagle, PCGS graded, Mercanti signed, MS70. Those are The populations are exceedingly low, as opposed to, if anyone can go online and look on eBay, type in any one of
Right.
those years and compare from PCGS to NGC, and you'll see the vast difference in prices there.
Mm.
But some people like to have the NGCs, which is fine. Point being is that whether it's silver eagles, gold eagles, platinum eagles, or palladium eagles, they are a huge part of the industry. And so it's fantastic that the U.S. Mint does such a fantastic job with this program, and that we've been able to be a part of it and pass that on to our customers. And thank God it started in 1986, all with a law. What was that law, Dustin?
It was the, let me go here. My notes. Liberty
Liberty
Coin Act. Yeah.
1985, signed into law December 17th, 1985.
Mm.
And we've never looked back since then. So
Mm.
it's a good thing.
Yeah, those are interesting dates. That transition from Mercanti, or what that was Mercanti, and then in 2021, Damstra took over for Type 2. Um, but not all coins were produced to be eagles until in specific dates, like platinum and palladium were at later dates, where silver and gold were originally released as eagles. Um,
Yep.
but yeah, I wanted to get into our sponsor real quick just before we start. Be sure that we cover that portion here. Um, so if you guys have any run into any issues with e-checks, that's obviously something that we want to promote here, because we want to make sure that you guys have access to quick funding. And the irony for business is that we deal, in coin, when we deal with coins, being that coins are about 200 years old in this case, most U.S. coins, you still are waiting 5 days for paper checks, which is kind of crazy in 2026. So I want to
Yeah.
sponsor FastChecks.io. They fix that. The difference is that it's unlike check services that make you download software or buy some special link or navigate through a system for a Fortune 500 company. FastChecks is genuinely simple. You register, enter your details, and they verify bank account in real time. You print on your regular printer, done in minutes, so just under 1 minute actually. Starts completely free, no credit cards. You can go check them out at fastchecks.io, fastchecks.io. And then, yeah, you can set it up within less than a minute. There's live routing and bank account checks. You get 5 checks for free monthly, and there's no credit card needed. But you can also set up the plans. $30 a month is basically, the good. It's a pretty decent plan for most people. It's around 20 checks a month, yeah, you can print it out on your any printer, and you can check them out today at fastchecks.io. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Fast Checks. They've been we're happy that they're a sponsor of ours, and I proof is in the pudding. I use Fast Checks here at the business. And we were using another service prior to that for our e-checks, and it was expensive, and as we print a lot of checks, and it just makes the process so much easier. Our customers don't have to worry about mailing in a check. We don't have to wait for snail mail for the check to arrive. It's just, if you're a coin dealer, if you have any business that uses checks, can benefit from Fast Checks. So I definitely advise you checking that out. And thank you, Fast Checks, for sponsoring our show.
Yeah, thanks, Fast Checks. Appreciate you guys. Definitely check them out. Fastchecks.io. That's fastchecks.io. All right, let's get into it. So we're touching a little bit about those dates. 1986 is when the first release of the Liberty Coin Act of 1985. And we'll get into like some of like the mandated aspects of the silver stockpiles, because there was like quite a bit of a silver stockpile apparently at that time. So I mean that makes sense to mint, a new revision of the silver coins. And then let's see, let's get into it here. So some of the legacy aspects, like Walking Liberty, we have the St. Gaudens, of course, with gold eagles. So that was kind of the design, but then Mercanti came along and made Type 1 design.
The reverse.
The reverse. So maybe we can touch a little bit about what that like transition looks like from like a dealer standpoint, like how that is like more sought out, like from the 1985, 1986. I'm sure some of those are most sought out coins out there. What's your take?
Sure. Well, the certain years, as I mentioned, have higher value to them based off the mintage that year, how many were produced. So, I have customers sometimes that will have monster boxes going back to the 80s. And so if you have a monster box from 1986, that's 500 silver eagles. It's the 25 tubes in there, 20 coins in the tube. I mean that's gold, but it's silver. They're very valuable, especially unopened monster boxes in the original sealed packaging, big green monster box with all the mint packaging still on there, unopened. I've only seen those a couple times, and I've never seen a monster box, and I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure people still have them squirreled away with the other years I was mentioning, like the 1996 or the 1993 or 1999. 94 is probably the rarest year in the series. And so whether they're in the bullion in state or the graded state, it's important to have for numerous reasons. And we've gone over this many times on the show, having physical possession, you're getting a quality product from the U.S. mint. It's not a private mint. It's not, around that a private mint created. That's fine if you're just looking at just for silver. If you're a silver bug, a stacker, you only care about the silver. I'm always thinking about the end game, which is the time to sell. And so, you get into a lot of things what you put into it. So with silver eagles, even though, and gold eagles and platinum and palladium, even though there's a premium on those, uh, it is worth it because you get that back in time. And so uh, I personally, I collect both. So I like collecting the bullion because I just like having it. But I also have a full series of silver eagles from 86 to
Wow.
2026. And that's something that we offer here at American Coin and Currency. We recently sold a set of those. So you would get, they're all PCGS graded and they're all Mercanti signed up until 2021, at which when the Type 2 came out, they changed the reverse. The Eagle changed. Those were Michael Gaudioso designed. And so he signed those up until 2026. I've seen those advertised before, and they're six figures. I've seen them close to 100,000. The
Wow.
last one we sold was slightly under 80,000 for the complete set, and so that's something that people that have the means to do so, I would highly advise picking up a set because it doesn't take up a lot of space. It's basically two sleeves, which is two sleeves plus one extra coin. So that's 41 coins.
Jeez.
And that I always advise customers, having a complete set of something when it comes time to sell is going to yield much more return than having a partial set. Think of the Whitman books that I see customers bring in all the time. For example, like a Mercury Dime Whitman book, they're always missing that 1916D because that's the rare year, plus
Right.
one or two others. But if you have that complete set, now you're talking about having something that's substantial, not only because it has the rare year added to it, but because a lot of people, from my experience, don't want to take the time and effort to piecemeal together a large set like that. And so it's easier for them just to contact someone like us and be like, hey, I just want to buy the whole set, whether that's the American silver set, whether that's the gold set, burnished gold, the buffalo set. We can get into all different kinds of things, and so there's always a lot of value in that. And listen, people that got involved and bought these complete sets, even just last year. I mean, look how well they've done just because of precious metals. And I always say that because the coin is graded, you have that built-in hedge. Let's take a 1994 MS70 PCGS Mercanti signed Eagle. I don't care if silver goes to $500 an ounce. It's really not going to. It'll the effect on the price of that is negligible. Because it's such a rare piece. So even for the dates that are not key dates, but they are graded, you still get that built-in protection. And that's why I'm always trying to advise people, yeah, of course, buy bullion. I would never tell you dissuade someone from buying raw metal. But it seems to me that the smart money tends to buy the graded because of that built-in hedge and the best of the best when, if it's affordable. So we have all kinds of programs we do here, whether it's buying the complete set at once or, like I said earlier, piecing them together. Some customers, they don't have, $80,000 to just drop down for a complete set of PCGS Silver Eagles. So we piece them together over time, which we love to do. I know I'm rambling here, but Silver Eagle, I mean, they just, I love them. They excite me. I don't know what this industry would look like if we didn't have silver, gold, platinum, palladium eagles. I think it'd be a very different world. I mean, the eagles are the most collected coins on the planet. That's a fact. So, and that's not going to change anytime soon. In fact, I would I would bet that you're going to see more people getting involved, just because of things happening in the world and all that stuff. But yeah,
Sure.
let's talk some more about gold eagles. I love the platinum eagles, and of course the palladium eagles, which started in 2017, which we were a big part of that. Those are probably the lowest mintage that the U.S. Mint does. So we can go down any road you want, and just tell me where you want to go.
I want to show the audience what they're looking at here when it comes to the type 1 and type 2s. You can see that the reverse is different on the back. So you can see that there.
Yep.
So was Damstra design or was Gaudioso reverse?
Unless I'm really wrong here, Guardioso designed the reverse of the Type 2 Silver Eagle.
Type 2. Yeah, I'm not sure what maybe this information is incorrect, but yeah.
Damstra, I believe, had she designed the new, had something to do with the new Gold Eagles, because they changed the reverse not too long ago.
Okay, that might be it. So yeah, here's the designs if you guys are unaware. But
I'll ask Emily. I was just talking to her the other day, actually.
yeah, we got Emily on a hold of her.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for real. Dustin and I were having a conversation with her the other day.
yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, I did Michael too as well. Gaudioso. So
Yep.
hopefully we'll get in talks with him and then possibly Mercanti. We'll see. We'll see. I think
We're gonna try to get him on the show. Emily
yeah.
said she's just a little too busy now,
Yeah,
but she didn't say no either. So
she didn't say no. That is very true. She did not say no. She was just busy.
yeah,
So
that would be phenomenal. I would love to hear about what goes on behind the closed doors at
yeah.
the U.S. Mint, the whole process. I do know that Congress has to get involved with certain things, which
Mhm.
probably slows a lot up.
Oh yeah.
The bureaucracy. But yeah, that would be amazing to hear her stories of what happens there.
hmm Yeah, I've been reaching out to all those everyone that has to do with the U.S. Mint, even the police officers. I've been contacting as well. So, I've been contacting security. I've been contacting other sculptors, designers, and people that work at the U.S. Mint, and directors. Like, yeah, just pretty much anyone that's related. So, if you guys see our show, definitely reach out. Um, but yeah, get a hold of us on LinkedIn, email, give us a call, of course, 561-310-8341, uniquecoins@gmail.com. All right, so let's get into more. So Eagles were legally mandated and not just were minted. And a lot of the details, I guess, to say for around purity and weight. You mentioned the purity. That's very important. 999 instead of like you're saying 91%, because the Eagles, gold Eagles you're mentioning were 0.91. They were actually 22 karat.
Yep.
Yeah, so they're not actually buffaloes are actually pure gold. Um,
Buffaloes are pure.
yeah, buffaloes are pure gold. So
They
very
started in 2006.
yep, yeah, that's exactly.
And
Uh,
there is a big difference, Dustin, as we mentioned, between the mid state, which is known as a business strike, or
yeah,
proofs. And
yeah,
in some years the proofs are worth more. Some years the mid
true.
states are worth more. So it gets in depth very quickly,
Mhm.
and having American Coin and us help you navigate those waters,
Oh yeah,
I think is very beneficial.
yeah. We're definitely trucking along. There's so much information that we provide every week, and things that are available. If it's on our eBay or just in our inventory, it's just vast, and the access is just insane. So, you guys look for
You know,
anything.
um, when we started this program today, something that popped, and this will be real quick, but something popped in my head, and I think that people that are watching will find this enjoyable. It's a quick story. So there was something back in the 1800s. It was called the Comstock lode, and so they discovered this huge amount of silver out in Carson City, Nevada.
Oh, wow.
And the people that were involved at that time in the silver business, owning the people who own the mines and whatnot, they lobbied Congress to start producing silver, $1 pieces again, silver 1 ounce coins, I should say. And prior to that, I believe off memory, the last silver dollars that were created were trade dollars, which was like in the 1870s, and most of those were sent overseas. And some of those have chop marks are called, which we can get into on another show. It's a really fascinating story. They're highly collectible. A lot of them are very valuable. But we had this gap from, let's say, like 1880 to no, it was before 1880. So the Morgan started in 1878. They started because these wealthy people that had access to all the silver needed an outlet for all the silver. And why not have the government start a program to start using their silver to create coins again? So that's how the backstory of how Morgan's silver dollars were actually started. That's why, because of that. When I saw, the act of 1985, the Liberty Coin Act of 1985, and you had just mentioned that there was a large stockpile of silver back in the mid 80s. My head went right to that same thing. I wonder if behind the scenes, players in the metals industry who own the mines lobbied Congress again to say, hey, we have all this silver, we need an outlet for it. Why don't you guys start a program of producing silver bullion? And so I don't know if that's the case or not, but it happened once before in history. So, I wouldn't be surprised.
That's true. Yeah, I that seems very tangible. I mean, having a stockpile of anything like that, like we've seen this in the current ages now with like technology. So there's no reason why we can see a precious metal, be considered, stockpiled, or the U.S. government have a viable reason to produce more coins. I mean, that's
sure. If you're a supplier and you have the government, you have the best in the world. They're gonna buy all your stock of raw metal. And to this day, I think the mint has 10 or 13 vendors that they use. There's been some stories in the news lately, which is a totally different conversation about, because now they can see what they can actually, they can dissect a gold coin and they can tell you where that gold came from. Some of it came from South America. Some of it might have come from Africa. Some of it might have come from here in the United States. And so, pretty interesting stuff that they're finding out about where some of this gold is coming from. A little bit of a PR headache for the U.S. Mint. Unbeknownst to them, I'm sure they didn't know some of this is conflict gold.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, exactly. Because I know about conflict material when it came to like semiconductors back from like Congo, and they were coming with the material for cell phones and laptops and stuff. And then they started dissecting the raw material and found out a lot of it was a conflict material in Africa. That is interesting. I mean, that can happen with everything. So I mean, you can find gold, silver, wherever from any location, and because of that, there's some type of PR nightmare, some type of like embargo, some type of import reasoning. There could be some legal parameters. Like we should work with these people. So I mean, that is 100% something that is looked upon or looked over, I think, mostly, but definitely is something with technology is becoming normal. Yeah, I mean that it just raises the valuation of where people are processing this and how they're how their the conditions and what are some of the kind of legal um, reasons to keep like their employees fed well or housed or whatever. I mean, like we don't know.
Yeah.
Could be like child labor laws. I don't know. But yeah, that's a very interesting. I forget that actually is something. So um, that's cool. Glad you mentioned that. But yeah, let's touch on like some of the vintage like. So from gold eagles, obviously your tandem with silver eagles, and then palladium eagles came out in '97, or platinum. Sorry, platinum eagles came out in '97,
Yep,
which I believe had the same design. Um,
they
this is
do.
this is the same design. Okay. Um, and then the Palladium Eagles came out in 2017. And you're mentioning about like some of that scarcity is you had a play in that. You said,
Well, yeah, we had a contract back in 2017 to be one of the very very few dealers to offer the 2017 Palladium Silver Eagle, graded by
wow,
PCGS and signed by John Mercanti.
Phew,
And so there was
wow.
only 15,000 minted total that year, the
Hmm.
first year of issue. And like it always kind of narrows down when you get now, it's a mint state 70, all the 69s and 68s, those, forget about those. And then you have it in a PCGS slab, and then you have it signed by Mercanti. I don't remember the numbers, the population for that off the top of my head, but it was really low.
Hmm.
And back then, palladium was we were buying those from the mint at well over $3,000 because palladium was a little over $3,000 at that time.
Oh,
And
that's
but those
true.
coins have held their value, even though palladium is now at significantly less here. Um, I think
Yeah,
it's under 2,000 last time I looked.
yeah,
Um,
it's 1500 today.
yeah, yeah. But each year, the mint still is producing the palladium eagles, and they do a really really good job with it because they change it up. So you'll have a business strike, which is a mint state 1 year. Um, you'll have a proof the next year, and then a reverse proof, which I love reverse proof coins. I think they're awesome in every way. And what I like is that they keep the mintages low, and that for the collectible industry and for people who just are looking to invest in rarities, that gives it a huge boost.
Mm.
If they minted a million of them, it wouldn't be the same, right? But 15,000, 12,000. I think last year it was 12,000 pieces.
Yeah.
They've always kept it low. And so I think with the current mint director who comes from the industry, they're going to continue to do that and even better things. So that's really exciting. One thing I never understood, because there's fractional amounts when you have the gold. You have the $5, $10, $25, and $50 gold set, and same thing with platinum. You have different fractional amounts. They never did that with silver eagles. They never did a figure like a dime, quarter, 50 cent, dollar, all with the same design.
Right.
I don't know why, but maybe it's the manufacturing. What didn't make that feasible?
Mm.
Whereas with higher end products or higher cost like gold, even though it's just a $5 10th ounce piece, that's still worth significantly more than just a one silver eagle.
Mm.
Um,
Eh,
yeah, so just a thought I had, a tangent there.
That makes yeah. Two things cross my mind. One is like the denomination is conflicting, maybe for I guess more the public. They have like a dime that's like a silver dime, eagle kind of silver eagle dime, or like a quarter, 50 cents. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it seems like that. And the other part would be is like you mentioned, at least at the time, maybe because it was just not as viable for price costs. Like
Yeah,
gold.
probably.
Yeah, because I mean, you can't say it's like the printing physically because they still have a smaller design for gold pieces. So,
Yeah,
um,
and platinum.
and platinum
Yeah,
too. So yeah,
yeah,
those
4 point
dimes.
platinum.
Yeah, or is the palladium? Is it the palladium mercury dimes, or is it the
What was
platinum? Which
what
one
was
is
that?
it? Oh, I was gonna say which is it? Is it the mercury? Is it palladium or platinum? I think it was palladium, right?
Platinum. No, I'm sorry,
Platinum.
palladium.
The
Palladium
palladium.
has the mercury. Yeah, the mercury
Okay.
dime design on it.
Okay. Yeah, I remember those ones. So yeah, there's different denominations definitely for gold, but yeah, silver doesn't really have too many. It still keeps that eagle design. But yeah, some of
You
the
know what?
design.
I'll,
Oh,
oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
sure. Oh, I was gonna say, for our next segment, it's like the design change, which was included with like security upgrades, I suppose. Um, which then, yeah, there was like a different collector's shift because obviously people were there was demand for silver eagles, but I think in the last like I want to say the last 10 years, maybe last five, last 8 years or so, like the demand has cut like significantly shifted, especially with the price of silver. Also just like a lot of new generations are getting into the hobby, starting to see that eagles are obviously something to collect. Because at that point it was about what 15 years give or take. The eagles were already out. In the last 10, it's like kind of like the stretch here, where the price of action of silver has gone up. So what's your thoughts on like the demand? Is it like significantly more since the time like say 10 years ago, 5 years ago?
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. There's all walks of life now are getting involved, even if they can only get a couple pieces of name the metal, but they absolutely more and more people are getting involved,
Mhm.
and I think that's just going to continue. I mean,
Right.
you know, one thing I try to wrap my head around, and I can't. It's too difficult, and it's above my pay grade.
Mhm.
You see price action. We were looking at price actions earlier,
Yeah.
and in the past, when we've had times of economic uncertainty,
Mhm.
inflation, um, high oil prices, uh, gold, precious metals in particular have risen, have
Oh
appreciated.
yeah.
And I don't know when this really happened. I was trying to think about it before the show, but at
Mhm.
some point in the last few years, it's flipped where now if there's inflationary pressures, or let's say they're talking about raising interest rates, um, gold goes down. Where in the
Hmm.
past, inflationary pressures would force gold up. I don't know why or when that flipped, and
Mhm.
it's almost like gold now is like in some cases I look at oil now. I mean, if oil's down, gold's up. That seems to be
Hmm.
the parallel now, where in the past it wasn't like that. And
Huh.
so my point being is that yeah, people are getting involved more and more, whether it's through a self-directed, precious metals backed IRA, which
Mhm.
we also handle here and can facilitate. It's very easy to set up. Many of our customers have done that. They're very happy, especially the ones that did it last few years,
Mhm.
and funded their accounts with metal. They've really done well. But in the long term, I don't see that's slowing down. just I call it deductive reasoning, Dustin. You know, just look what's going on in the world. There's a reset coming in some way, shape, or form. I
Oh
don't know
yeah.
what it is yet. A lot of people think the new head of the Fed, Kevin Warsh, is going to, lower interest rates right away. But if you look into his past and what when he was on the Fed board, when Ben Bernanke was the Fed chairman,
Mm.
I think it's contrary to what many people are thinking is going to happen. Again, point being, uncertainty is the key to people getting more involved in whether it be precious metals or numismatics or both. And I don't see, our world simplifying. It's going to get more it's going to get more complex
Oh yeah.
and here, and you have other countries out there that are really working to get away from the petrodollar and the hegemony of the US dollar worldwide, um, and to start using their own currencies to buy oil, where for the past 40 years everything's been done to the US dollar, and the United States has protected that hegemony at all costs, with wars, with sanctions, with you name it. And I understand why. There's a lot of benefits. Uh, the downside is that we also have to prop up the whole world with our dollar, which is a result of why we're printing and creating so much new. I don't want to even say it's money, just new zeros and ones that go
Right.
to banks' accounts. All of that said, uh, I think you'd be foolish to just keep your assets in the stock market. Forget about the bond market. I mean, that's a whole thing waiting to happen there. Um, but as these things play out, Dustin, um, more and more people are going, and I see it every day, and I'm sure other dealers see it as well. So knowing that we have a product that's made in the United States, it's made by the U.S. Mint. You can trust it. It is what it is, right? It's silver, it's gold, it's platinum, palladium, and then you can get higher into that rarefied air of getting it graded bullion coins, which then become numismatics.
Mm.
And that's where I see things heading more so. People are getting out of the dollar. That it's as simple as that. People are really trying to move out of the dollar into other assets, and that's good for us, I guess. I don't know how good it is for the country long term, but
Yeah.
it is good for us.
Yeah, it's definitely a win for anyone that's collecting or a hedge against US dollar. That's you can really show when people are moving into uncertainty, and they're definitely looking for some place to protect themselves. But it's always good to talk to an expert and give us a call 561-310-8341 unicoins@gmail.com. Get a hold of us. John will let you know. He is an expert for sure, and will let you know where to go, if you're looking for anything specific. Yeah, we're here at the last 7 minutes. We got some questions from everybody here. Let's see. Breakdown of Liberty Coin Act. Most people don't realize that the program was mandated by Congress and not by the mint.
Correct. Yeah, the
Yeah.
mint has to go through Congress for the mint works for us, but Congress passes if they want to come up with a new coin, a new program.
Mhm.
It has to be approved by Congress.
Yeah.
The mint
That's
can't just do what they want to do. You're
yeah.
right. Absolutely.
That's
Thank you
true.
for that.
Yeah, good response. Always great show. Thanks everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's see. What would you pay a strong premium for a 2017 Palladium Eagle, knowing how low the mintage is?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Why, you have one you want to sell? Give me a call.
Give us a call. You know us 561-310-8341. Let's see. Is Palladium Eagle the most or is the most overlooked eagle?
I think burnished eagles are the most overlooked. In particular, burnished gold eagles are the most overlooked. And there's a lot of value there, especially the graded pieces, 70s. Um, they're overlooked. They're the vol. I'm sorry, the populations are low. But yeah, palladiums as well. But again, you're talking about a program that's only been around since 2017, whereas the gold and silver eagles have been around since 1986. So they have a little bit of a head start.
True. Let's see. Definitely going to subscribe. Great info. Thanks, James. Appreciate it.
Thanks, James.
Subscribe. Let's see. Accurate coins. What do you prefer to collect? Type 1 or Type 2 silver eagles?
That's a difficult question, but there's benefits to both. The type ones are going to are older, right? So 86 to mid 2021 are type ones, and anything from mid 2021 and until today are type twos. There's no coins from 2021 till now that can compare to like a 1994 or a 2000 or a 1999 silver eagle, unless you get into programs like the At Dusk and At Dawn, where it was the last 500 silver eagles type 1 struck and then the first type 2 struck, but that's something completely different. I would prefer to focus on the type 1s, but owning the type 2s, today's product is tomorrow's rarity. So
yeah,
it might take some time, but I haven't seen any type 2s yet that are garnering large premiums or dollar amounts for sale because they're readily available. But in 20, 30 years, that could be a totally different story. So
yeah, that's true. It could be a Type 3 at that point, and
absolutely.
Type 2 is sought out. Type 1 is in some collection that you'll never get hold of. So, I mean, that's where we're at. We got a response from Musa. The insight on bullion versus proof versus burnish was huge. Most collectors overlook how different those markets actually are.
They're each one is its own animal.
Yeah, true.
So its own ecosystem, its own universe. They're all different.
Let's see. Do you think it's kind of related to what we're saying? Do you think Type 1 eagles are still undervalued compared to Type 2 after the design transition? And that's kind of what we've mentioned.
I don't think they're undervalued. I think that there's certain years that are key dates in any series. Doesn't matter what it is. There are certain years. I mean, look, pull it out. Anyone that's got a red book, I keep one on my desk all times. This is my Bible. And you look through the red book, and you'll see there's key dates in every single series. Was having a conversation with one of my coworkers yesterday, in particular about the 2000, and because we just got in a couple of 2000 Silver Eagles graded by PCGS, MS70, Mercanti signed. Oof. That's a key date, and I think we listed it up on eBay for I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's like $6,000, I think, somewhere around there. That's an ounce of silver, right? But because there was so few of them, the conversation was why in that year in particular, because they minted, I think, 9 million that year, and the proofs from that year are so much less as far as dollar amount to go buy one. If you wanted a proof 70 PCGS, Mercanti signed, it's literally a fraction of what the business strike
Mm.
is costing. And it appears that a lot of them were destroyed when we looked into it a little further in 2000. Something to do with Y2K, believe it or not.
Jeez. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Here's a response. This really changed how I look at Eagles. Yeah, appreciate it. Definitely come back every week. We got some more information for you. Let's see. Sleeping Giant take on Eagles. Sleeping Giant take on Eagles makes a lot of sense. Feels like most of the market hasn't caught on yet.
Yeah, I agree. Palladium Eagles are going to in a few years. They're going to be they're overlooked like the other viewer had mentioned earlier, and my prediction would be that palladium is going to go back over $3,000 an ounce. I don't, not tomorrow, not next week, but at some point. And those that are fortunate enough to have the pieces that we sell, that we offer, which is the top specimens. Again, pretty much they're going to be PCGS in this case. In some cases, there's reason for NGC, but for Eagles, I prefer PCGS. 70, whether it's proof, reverse proof, MS, and signed by Mercanti, let's say, or Damstra, which we have now. We still have a couple left from last year. Those are the populations are exceedingly low, and I think that's really overlooked. And I think that you're going to be looking at a really high value coins in the future with the graded palladium series.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely sought out. Yeah, we do some 2025s, and we'll pull up here our eBay. Check us out on our eBay. We got a lot of inventory available, constantly updating it. Of course, you can get a hold of us directly if you want to get some good deals outside of eBay. 561-310-8341, uniquecoins@gmail.com. Check us out. Linktree, American Coin ACC, eBay, American CC. Check out all our inventory here. Some good
and what you just said, Dustin, makes a lot of sense, and I just want to reiterate that eBay is a partner of ours. We do a tremendous amount of business with them. But if someone is watching and listening, and listen, if you give us a call or send us out an email and deal direct, we could typically give you a better deal because we're not paying eBay their fee, their cut, which we're happy to do because, again, eBay is a great partner of ours. But if you go direct, you cut out the middleman. We all know how that works.
Yeah, it's significant. Yeah, the deal this morning I made was like 10% less, and the best part about it is that the customer gets the better deal. That's the best part, is that you guys get such a significantly better price. It's just those fees are just eat up the cost, and it definitely affects the price. But yeah, get a hold of us. Let us know. We can always hook you up with a good deal. Being most prices on there is like a 5 to 10% spread. So just think and imagine that you guys can get that deal better for yourselves directly. So get a hold of us, and we'll work with you on something.
And that's significant because we have, they have a $10,000 coin. We're going to pass those savings on to you. We're not. Exactly. So you're looking at, like you said, 5 to 10%. I mean, we're talking $500 to $1,000 discount that you, the customer, is going to receive by going direct through us.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I have some customers are going to get at least $100 off. $1,000 coin. It's a big deal. You know what I mean? Huge deal. We got one response. We got a couple more responses. I don't know if we can get back to you guys, but there's one. I know I guess they missed the beginning part, but what are the differences between type 1 and type 2 Eagles?
Yeah, thanks for the question. It's a good one. So the difference is type coin when a change is made. So the design on the American Silver Eagles will say in particular from 1986 to mid 2021, it was the same obverse and same reverse. They changed the reverse, and once that change was made, the Type 2 died and the Type 2 was created. And it's just a design change, and that's it's as simple as that. If they change it again, let's say at some point in the future, they change the obverse and they take away Adolf Weinman's Walking Liberty and put something else on there. Actually, it was Augustus St. Gaudens's Walking Liberty design is on the obverse of the Silver Eagle. But let's say they change that in the future, it'll now be a Type 3.
Type 3. I don't see why that won't happen either. So we're gonna get another designer in the mint, and they might be changing some things in the next 10, 20 years.
Sure.
All right. Well, we're here at the end of the hour, a little bit over time. Appreciate everyone being here. Yeah, I mean, the first 20 minutes were just intro pretty much.
I had so much more I wanted to bring up, and like we barely scratched the surface on what we could discuss. But hopefully those that are watching and listening enjoy the show. And if you got anything out of today's show, please subscribe, like us. It really helps us out, and it enables us to continue giving all of you good information and our show. And thanks to our sponsor, fastcheck.io. We really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, be sure to come back here every week, 1 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays. I mean, anything you guys can do for us, just hit them likes, hit them comments, share this with people it really helps us a lot. It doesn't really require too much from you guys, so appreciate it being here with us every week. Thank you for all the questions. Always excited to go through all the questions with you guys. And thank you to the sponsor, fastchecks.io. We're gonna have a guest next week with us. Let me pull that out. He is a numismatist as well. What is his name? His name is Christopher Bullfinch. He actually worked at Stackbauer's for a couple of years in the art gallery in Boston. So we're going to have that guest next week with us joining. So we're going to be having some guests coming on this following month. So stay tuned for more from us. And final words from you, John. What's going on?
Just keep moving forward and keep your ear to the ground. And if you need anything, please reach out to us. One other thing, I think that would be really great to make this more interactive. Dustin and I were talking about creating a forum where people can, converse with each other digitally online. But also, if anyone has any topics that you'd like for us to discuss, to get into, to get granular with, it has to U.S. coin related. I know a little bit about foreign coins, but not enough to have a long discussion. But that we would really like to hear any topics that you all would like to talk about and hear about.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll get more information provided for you guys to join the forum, and then you guys can get a hold of us. And if there's anything you guys would like to talk about, we've touched on a lot of subjects, but there's a lot to unfold, and a lot of times we don't even get to actually talk about what we're actually talking about. There's just so much more to it, and there's always going to be a second segment here. We're coming up on the first year of this podcast, so we're going to be touching on a lot of subjects, more guests coming, and you can check us out on all major platforms. We're going to be on Spotify next week, Apple, and other podcast related sound, or there's like seven. But check us out.
We're growing
every day, week, second. We're constantly moving. And check us out. We got a lot of content out there. Hit them likes, hit them subscribes, hit them comments. Really takes us further and gives us that algorithm reach. So we'll be here every week, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. This is Dustin Lee, head of social media here at American Coin Currency. John Mady, CEO, founder, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.